everyone, this is Pooka, and welcome to another game I played on Pokemon TCG Online. And we got some new cards! Alright, Plasma Freeze is up and running on PTCGO. And of course, the first deck everyone wants to see, Weavile Exeggcute! Yeah! Alright, might not be the first deck everyone wants to see, but it's a lot of fun. And this actually turned out to be a very good game. We're up against RJCarrot. And let's go with a Juniper. Now, if you don't know what the point of this deck is, you use Weavile's attack Vilify. You get to discard as many Pokemon from your hand as you want, and it does 30 damage times the number of Pokemon you discard. Now, it might seem like, well, that's stupid. You're never going to be able to discard Pokemon all the time. And you'd probably be right if it weren't for Exeggcute, which has the propagation ability, which lets you just take it out of the discard pile and put it into your hand. So, once you get 4 Exeggcutes in the discard pile, every turn you have at least 4 Pokemon to get back. And it's a pretty cool combo. Your deck really starts cycling through Pokemon very quickly once you get all set up. And you can burn through your deck really quickly. And, you know, maybe you can knock out enough Pokemon to win. We do start off here with Sableye. I feel like the best way to get this deck set up is with Sableye. You know, with Ultra Balls, Level Balls, just getting back items in the first couple turns. You'll be able to get a bunch of Exeggcutes in the discard pile pretty quickly. You know, I already got 1 in the discard pile. Ideally, you want to get 4, and then, you know, you're really not going to attack too early with Weavile, because sure, you could just Vilify for like 90, but then you're just going to probably get knocked out. So, you really just want to sit back, make sure you get everything set up, and then go for one big hit with Vilify. Knock out an EX, and then hopefully knock out like 3 EXs in a row with that big 180 damage attack. So here, I saw Cobalion EX. I was hoping it would be a Clang deck, and then he surprised me with, hey, a Landorus, and this is Weavile's worst enemy. You are weak to fighting. He puts on pressure early. Pretty much everything you could, well, everything you wouldn't want to run into, that's what Landorus is. You need a little bit of time to set up. Landorus doesn't give that to you. You need a little bit of time to get your Pokemon in the discard pile. You have low hit points. He hits for 1 energy. So yeah, pretty much everything is bad. But who knows? We'll see. Now, I am playing an Ultra Ball here. Again, we're going to try to get Exeggcute in the discard pile as quickly as possible. And then the plan is to get, you know, like 4 Exeggcutes in the discard pile. It looks like I may have 1 prize this game, which is a bit of a bummer. But it'll happen sometimes. But yeah, you want to get those Exeggcutes in the discard pile, and then play a supporter, and then draw a couple Pokemon, and then you just use all the propagation abilities, bring back 4 Exeggcutes, and then Vilify for a knockout. So, we'll see if I can pull that off. This was my first or second time playing this deck, so I'm still getting familiar with it. We also have Electrode with that magnetic draw ability. Lets you draw until you have 4 cards in your hand. It's kind of a countermeasure to N. It's not a bad card at all. And alright, we're going to get Tool Scrapper, discard that Float Stone. Float Stone, of course, gives your opponent free retreat cost. So here, I have a couple level balls. We can go ahead and level ball for a second Weavile. But we don't have any energy this turn. That is a bit of a bummer. But again, we'll still be able to set up here. I'm going to take a level ball and an Ultra Ball, and we should be able to get all those Exeggcutes in the discard pile next turn, but Landorus is being a big old pain in the butt, that's for sure. Just the 30 and 32 bench Pokemon is a real pain. I should put Mr. Mime in this deck to block this kind of bench damage. I didn't have one at the time, but in the future we'll be adding Mr. Mime to this deck to prevent early Landorus shenanigans, of course. Everything in this deck has 90 hit points or less, which is a pretty bad recipe for disaster when you consider Hammerhead does 30 and 30 and you're weak to fighting. Now, my opponent puts down a Trubbish, and I'm like, uh-oh, oh no. This just took a turn for the worst, and oh great, triple Juniper in my hand. As you can see, I have a full art Juniper in there. She is very pretty, by the way. Finally, I can make all my supporters full art. Oop, I almost bench an Exeggcute there. That would have been a disaster. But, yeah, if anyone has extra full art Junipers, I am looking for those, that's for sure. But yeah, here I'm just going to go ahead and get another Electrode into play. I don't even know if I'll be able to use Electrode that often, but I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway. And, you know, there are no Exeggcutes left for me to take. I think I'm going to need all the Sableyes I can get, though, with that stupid Garbodor. He shuts off Execcute's ability. And again, I do have an Exeggcute prize. That's going to come back to bite me as well. But yeah, that stupid ability is definitely... by stupid ability, I mean Garbodor's Garbotox is definitely going to come back to bite me. Because he shuts off the propagation. That's the big one. Shuts off Exeggcute, and if I can't get back Exeggcute, there's no way I'm going to be able to keep up with this deck. There's no way I'm going to be able to cycle through my Pokemon enough to get a knockout. So I have to junk hunt for Tool Scrapper. I play Tool Scrapper just for Garbodor. It also works very well against Eviolite, can disrupt people by discarding Float Stone as well, but this is just used for Garbodor because if your Execcute's ability gets shut off, you lose. Pretty simple. So we need to Tool Scrapper, get rid of the tools on Garbodor, and stop him from stopping me. Anyway, we'll see what he does here. This is a very precarious spot for me. He is able to get a double knockout with Hammerhead here. Again, I do need Mr. Mime in this deck. This would be the one spot where Mr. Mime would be very good. You do need to run a lot of Pokemon anyway. You have bench space. You know, this is just a weird game where I have a bunch of Electrodes benched. But normally you would have like one Electrode. You might not even need Electrode. I haven't even figured that out yet. Again, this is just my first time building this deck. And we're going to see what happens. So here, we can level ball. You know, I do need to get another Sneasel down. But I also need 3 Pokemon in my hand to vilify. So that's what we're going to have to do. And here we go. The Exeggcute train begins. Bring them back to the hand, boys. Propagation. Bring back 3 and vilify. And discard all 6 Pokemon in my hand. That's 30 times 6, which, if you can math, it's 180. Goodbye, Landorus EX. And we take 2 prizes and take the lead somehow. Now, we do have some damage dispersed on my board still, so it's going to be a pain in the butt. But who knows? Now, he does put down another Float Stone. We'll see what he does. I mean, if he gets another Landorus out this turn, I'm going to be in a ton of trouble, I think, because he can just Hammerhead, knock out the Weavile, and then go after Sableye too, maybe. And then what do? I have really nothing left in play. I would need to hit a Dark Patch, and yeah, that pretty much, I need to hit a Dark Patch, because if he knocks out the Sableye, which he does, I am left with no energy in play. That's not good. And yeah. So this is the downside of this deck where everything has low hit points. But you know, maybe we can pull something off here. I do have those 2 Electrodes still, so I can draw through a lot of cards. I have a Bicycle, which really should not be in this deck, because you are always drawing to 4 with Electrode anyway. But oh well. Again, first time I built this deck, we'll see. I opted to discard Switch here. I'm not sure if I should have done that. And you can see there are absolutely 0 Pokemon left in my deck. 2 super odd though. So I'm going to go ahead and Tool Scrapper with a Float Stone, since I can always junk hunt. For the Tool Scrapper, I do get a Dark Patch. That's pretty nice. And now I have a decision. Do I want to use Chorus or End this turn? I can end him down to 3, and that's probably the route I'm going to go for. And hey, we can Super Rod here, shuffle in 3 Pokemon, and maybe we'll have something to work with now. Like I said, I have 0 Pokemon left in my deck. That's not good. So we'll shuffle in 2 Sneasels and a Weavile. And I did get a second Dark Patch. That's pretty nice. So I could vilify this turn if I got all the right things, but it doesn't seem like I'm going to be able to. I can Dowsing Machine. I do have a second Magnetic Draw to work with, so I can burn through my deck very quickly here. I can maybe take a Level Ball, Dark Patch to the new Sneasel. Then I can Junk Hunt for like Tool Scrapper, Super Rod maybe. I have a lot of options to work with, that's for sure. So yeah, I am going to take the Level Ball. Get another Sneasel into play. Might as well. Now you'll note I'm going for the 70 hit point Sneasels just because it survives Hammerhead. The 60 hit point one has the better attack, but 70 hit points is a significant number to hit. Alright, so this did not turn out too well. I'm not able to pull off a knockout, and I need to junk on here. I need to take Tool Scrapper for sure to shut off Garbodor just in case that happens. And what else do we take? I mean, we might have to take Super Rod, or we might have to take Level Ball. I decided to go for the Level Ball. I am not sure if that was the right thing to do, but hey, that's what I did. There are, geez, there are not. There's only one extra Pokemon left in my deck, so I'm gonna need to hit my second Super Rod, and this is where this deck can kind of fizzle out. You actually discard too many Pokemon and you run out of stuff. You just cannot hit 180 all the time. But you know, he's only taken 3 prizes so far. I don't have any real easy prizes for him to take. He does put an Eviolite on his Garbodor as well, which is kind of a strange decision, seeing as I did just junk hunt for a Tool Scrapper. So I'm not sure why you would attach 2 tools, knowing that I have a Tool Scrapper. Maybe just forgot or wasn't thinking about it. But alright, so he's going to hit the Weavile for 30, and I will Tool Scrapper away those 2 tools, obviously. And this has to be my big turn here. I need to hit, geez, I need to hit everything. What can I even do here with 2 Pokemon left in my deck? I mean, even if I Level Ball here, yeah, there are no Pokemon left. There's really nothing I could have done this turn, and it's kind of annoying. And at this point, you got to think, how in the heck am I going to win this game? Landorus is knocking on my door. I don't have any Pokemon left. I don't even know. I can't even use Electrode. I have too many cards. So what can I even do here? I may have to Catcher up Cobalion. I can't let him really attack again, otherwise I'm just going to lose, right? I may have to Catcher out Cobalion. Evolve to Weavile, and then I can draw a card with Magnetic Draw. And then if I do that, maybe I'll hit the Chorus, which could get me Super Rod. I don't know. I would need a ton of stuff. So, it's probably not going to work. We might need a junk hunt. This is an almost impossible decision here for me to make. I could Catcher up the Garbodor and hope for the best, but I might need that Catcher. So I just decide to junk hunt here, and that's probably the best thing to do. I'm going to grab a Level Ball, and then I can't even afford to take Tool Scrapper, really, because I really need to Super Rod cards back in at this point. And at this point, it just seems like the game is over. The only way I'm really going to win is if he just doesn't have any tools left. Even if he does not have tools left, I mean, if he can knock out 2 Weaviles, I'm probably going to lose still. And, ugh, there's the Juniper. Looks like he plays a Tool Scrapper of his own as well. Don't always see that in Garbodor decks, but, hey, times are changing. We don't always see Cobalion and Landorus in Garbodor decks either. So, a bit of a change of pace here. And, oh no, there is the dreaded Catcher. And at this point, how the heck am I going to win this game? He's going to knock out the Weavile. Now this is going to force me to have even more stuff to win. So this turn I'm going to need to put down this other Sneasel. So I need to evolve to Weavile. This is effectively taking out another Pokemon of my deck. Since I need to put down another Sneasel, and then I need to get another Weavile as well. So I'm going to Super Rod in, I guess, just 3 Pokemon. But I need to get Weavile, Sneasel for sure. So yeah, I'm just going to shuffle in some stuff there. I need to put down the Sneasel because, well, what else am I going to do? I need to get a second one. I'm surely going to get knocked out next turn by no matter what. Either Cobalion EX can Heavy Bullet, or Steel Bullet, that's the one. Heavy Bullet's Cling Cling. Yeah. But I need to either... he's either going to Hammerhead me for a knockout, or if I catch out the Cobalion... Or if I catch the Cobalion, which I might have to do to draw extra cards with Electrode, then he can use Hammerhead me. If I knock out the active, he can Steel Bullet for a knockout with another energy attachment. So I need to get 2 Weaviles out. Sorry, this is complicated. But, if I draw, like, the perfect cards, I can still win this game. So here's a Magnetic Draw. And, let's see. 2 Level Balls, strangely enough, does not get me a knockout here. So I need to Chorus for 5, I think. And I need to draw... Alright, that is what I needed. 3 Pokemon. Wow. And And I think the last card in my deck is a Super Rod, so good. Now I have just enough to go ahead and vilify. If I go ahead and use propagation 3 times, and man, having that 4th Exeggcute prized really is taking a toll here. But this is looking really bad. Just look, I mean, I can vilify for the knockout, but then he can just hammerhead, hit me, and then put 30 on to either Sableye or Electrode. And then if he has a tool, I just can't get enough Pokemon back and I lose. That's what's going to come down to. If he has a tool and he's got 7 cards, I really can't win at this point. Who knows? Stranger things have happened. I do not have any Weaviles left, but we know my last card is that Super Rod. So I can shuffle in 3 Pokemon, and then between the Electrodes and maybe that Battle City, there's a Battle City heads. He gets to draw a card. But yeah, if he does not get the tool down on the Garbodor, if he does not activate Garbotoxin, I'm going to have just enough to win the game. I'll have just enough. I'll get back 3 Exeggcutes. I'll shuffle in 3 Pokemon. And heck, I'll have to shuffle in a Weavile and then 2 other Pokemon. I'll have to level ball for the Weavile, and then I'll have exactly 3 Pokemon left because I got that Sneasel out of my prizes. And we'll have exactly 6 to vilify for 180. But, of course, if he has a Pokemon tool, I can't use Execcute's propagation, and then I lose. And there's a Skyla, so this game is pretty much wrapped up, I think. All he has to do is take a tool, and the game is over. My tool scrapper is still in the discard pile. I could not afford to junk hunt for it for that turn. He grabs a catcher, though. There is potential for him to be out of tools. You know, I did tool scrapper away Floatstone, and then another Floatstone, and then 2 Eviolites. So that's 4 gone. Most Garbodor decks play 5, 6 tools at most. Maybe his last one is prized? I don't know. Maybe he's just slow rolling me. But no. Hey, a Hammerhead, and this could be the strangest win ever. If we could somehow pull this off. I would think this is the worst matchup possible for my deck. Landorus Garbodor. But here we go. Super Rod, I'm just going to shuffle in 3 Pokemon, 3 Weaviles. As long as I didn't shuffle and Exeggcute there, I was good. And then we can go ahead and attach. We can play Skyla. I'm just going to thin out my hand for Electrode. And alright, we're going to level ball for a Weavile, Magnetic Draw for the other 2 Weaviles. Evolve, and look at this. Okay, we have 0 cards in my deck. 0 cards in my deck. And I'm going to discard every single Pokemon in my hand. I'm going to be left with 0 cards in hand and in deck. Play everything down to get the last knockout. And somehow Weavile Exeggcute is going to take down Landorus Garbodor. I don't know how to explain it, but we did it. Weavile Exeggcute is the real deal. This deck, if you can survive past the first turn, it has some potential to be a very good deck, and it's very fun at the very least. So, hope you guys enjoyed this match with this brand new deck from Plasma Freeze. I don't even know what else to say. Weavile Exeggcute, best deck in the format? Probably not, but we're going to be seeing a lot of it. So, take care, guys. This is Pooka here from the Top Cut. Hope you were entertained at the very least, and I'll see you next time.